Bill and the boys. As you can see, we've got our Halloween garlands up. So we've got our spooky skeleton lights, which get all washed out in the video, and our skulls, and of course, our jack-o'-lantern head boppers. We love Halloween. As you would have seen from the channel last year, we did our spooky tales from Bill and the boys. We will be doing those again. Those will be starting end of this week. They're not for everyone, but if you like something a little bit weird, we'll be doing those. We do go Halloween mental here. It is our thing. I bought something that the wife's really not impressed with, but the kids love it. He's our new edition. Check this out. When it comes to Halloween, you go big.
Wait, shall I stand next to it?
If you want to, or you go home. So he's nearly the size of the house. We love him. My wife said, that's it now, there's nothing else coming. So I was like, yeah, no, there's nothing else coming. There totally is, but shh, don't tell anyone, we get busted. So what we doing, Bill and the boys? Well, we have been catching up. So we did a ton of Tumblr, that's all done. We did a bunch more of the Doll's House. We're nearly caught up with Doll's House. So we have done 86. We've got 87, 88, 89, 90 to do. But those aren't going to be a problem. I'm going to blitz through those. So those will be coming up soon as well. I can already hear that one of these is going to fall down. So at some point in the video, either the lights are going to fall down or the garland's going to fall down. I can hear one of them going. Let's wait and see which one it is. Place your bets now. Garland or lights? I reckon lights because they're heavier. But that's going to happen. The other thing we've done, we just haven't uploaded the videos yet, but I can show you this because this is ridiculous, man. This is where we are on the Infinity Gauntlet. Look at that thumb. Look at the size of this bloody thing. That's ridiculous, right? So that'll be up very soon. So me and the kid have been filming those. But wow, so those will be up very soon on the channel because we filmed them. We just got to do the editing. The other thing that we built, which you would have seen, was the Trotter's van. So we got this from AliExpress, and I want to say it was 15 quid. And we're really happy with it. This isn't a sponsored video. We just sort of saw it and thought, I've wanted to build one for so long. And I'm kind of hoping that someone somewhere, someday, does a Trotter's van. I think it's a bit pie in the sky for us to think they're going to do it because it's so niche. That said, it does have a very big following in Europe. So who knows? One day we might get a Reliant Regal part work. I'd love that. And I think if you did it, it would sell massive in the UK. But who knows? We can dream. But until then, we've got this very cute. I love it. It's so nice. We had to buy the decals. So there is a site that does the decals. We bought the decals for it. But come on, I love it. So it's going to take pride of place in here. The other exciting thing that we had is just to the left of me. And I've got you can kind of see just the corner of it here. I've got my display case for the Ecto1, which I know a lot of you have been waiting for a while for. But it's coming. So all the details of that will be coming soon. Mine is deluxe. So mine is kind of the top end. So it is quite expensive, but there will be other options available, which I would like to talk about now. Flat pack is going to be an option because what is absolutely crippling on these cases is the shipping cost, because volumetric weight of one of these cases are bloody huge. So you end up in large parcels. So you end up paying a lot of money to ship one, a hell of a lot of money if you want it shipped in that. So there would be the option where you could collect it. So if you prefer to save the 50 to 100 quid in shipping, because that's what you're going to be looking at. If you think, you know what, that's only 60 miles away, so, and you want to drive down and get it, you could do that. That would be an option. The other option would be flat pack versions of this. Now, there would be two flat pack versions available. There would be one that would have invisible fixings. So the way it would work is they are acrylic screws. You wouldn't see them. They're miniature. They're not those big acrylic fittings that you see. These are actually made. So the company themselves make these acrylic screws and fixings, so you wouldn't see them. So it pieces together, you screw them in, you barely see them. The other option would be, and they're not sold on this one yet, but they would like to do it, because their thing is, if this is for model makers, then surely people would be interested, is they could send you the case and also the adhesive that clings it together, that creates the invisible seal, and you could put it together yourself. So you get the proper adhesive to do it. This isn't like off the shelf stuff. This is the stuff that will create a very strong bond, because essentially you're building a box. So the theory being that, if you're a competent enough modeler that you can build one of these giant models, you can certainly put a box together. The lights are going to go any minute. I can hear what's holding them up going. It's going to be funny when it does. But they're basically wanting me to see if you would be interested in that as an option. So if rather than pay that massive premium and having it made, if it came to you with the adhesive to attach it yourself, would you be interested? So the edges will be beveled down and whatnot, and you could do it that way. It would just save you a lot of money on shipping. But it's not set in stone yet, but would you be interested in that? So I'd be interested to hear your feedback or your emails. You can email us at buildingtheboys@outlook.com and let us know, yes, actually, you know what? If I had the proper stuff to do it, I could do it. And there'd be a tutorial video and whatnot of exactly how to put it together. But it's an option that would save you a significant chunk of money, because you haven't got to ship this great big case. But you can, of course, the one I've got, I opted not to have any engraving on it. So you can have anything engraved on it that you want. So if you wanted your name, the date you started the project, date you ended the project, the name of the vehicle, if you wanted the logo, you could have all of that put on there without any problem at all. We're looking at uplighting at the moment as well. So there was, it looks really nice. It's another piece of acrylic that'll go at the bottom that's got separator that then lights, and you can light that whole sheet of acrylic. So you can uplight the model in any kind of way you wanted to. Looks beautiful. So if you had a ship, you could have a blue light underneath it that would look amazing. It would look really nice. I will have more, like I said, I will have a lot more detail. We'll do a full video on that. There'll be a lot more, and that's very soon. So that'll be, if it isn't this weekend, it'll be in the week. So that's what's coming from there. We're due Titanic this week, and that's going to be an interesting one. So in the next Titanic, the next 4 parts of Titanic, it's all hull, all of it. So there is no deck, it's all hull. So it's going to be quick builds, but significant, because we are at that point now where we're way past the halfway point on Titanic. We're at the 2/3 mark, where we need to start building that hull. We just do, because we've got these giant decks that need support. So we need to start finishing off that hull. And the piece that we're building has the window in it. So there is people have seen window and assume that means like an acrylic window. So it's not, it's a gap, it's a hole, basically, is what the window is. So we're going to have that. Then at some point we'll have a piece that either folds down or removes completely. I think removes completely. That's better, I think, than a piece folded down. But it means that you can display the model in a way where you can see the engine room and you can see the engine running, or you could have it covered up, whatever you want. But that's ultimately what Windows going to do, because we do need to move on now to that point. We need to have this hull complete. The keel section, a few people have asked, but where's the keel? I'm like, well, there's not going to be a keel for a while, because to get the decks to attach to the actual hull, you're going to have to go in from the bottom. Then you're going to put the keel on. You're going to have to. So that's the way that's going to work. So there'll be no keel. I would imagine we're not going to have any keel for a while. Any minute the lights are going to go. Any minute I could hear it's going to be funny. The lights are going to go on, but trust me. But the keel section is going to be, I would imagine it's going to be one massive piece of keel that we're going to clip in and off it goes, I assume. But we'll have to see, because it does come with a stand as well. So even if you didn't get the case, it does have a stand, and it's going to be a buildable stand. So it was the garland. I thought it was going to be the lights. It was the garland. Who saw that coming? Not me. Wow. We're going to have to stick that back up in a minute. So it's it's the keel's going to be huge. We're going to have a buildable stand as well. So you will have something. If you haven't bought the case, so you're not paying the extra quid for the case. You're going to have a stand, and the stand's going to, I would imagine, screw to it. I don't think I can't see this thing sitting on the stand. If it is, I'm going to hate that, because I'm always going to think it's going to fall off. I hope it screws to the stand. I bloody hope it does, or at least locks in some way. If it doesn't, we'll find a way to do that, because I really don't want, I don't want to leave that to chance, because it freaks me out. Those stands freak me out. Even the Iron Man stand freaks me out. I mean, he hasn't budged, and we've moved house and whatnot. He's gone nowhere. So that stand really, really does grip him. But it still freaks me out that thing's just going to nosedive one day. And having seen all of the Hasha aliens that took the world's slowest forward roll, so a lot of the ones that were built in France, just dove off what they were standing on. They all just did this really slow forwards roll and then broke. And I don't know. That it freaks me out. And having seen what happened to Ian with his motorcycle build, that was heartbreaking. And Wayne as well with his X-wing. It freaks me out. I think it freaks all of us out. It's kind of the worst thing that can happen is you build one of these models and it just decides to take a dive off of something is horrendous. So I really hope that if that stand is good and that it holds it, I really, really hope. That's why I'm kind of glad it's going in a case because it's not going anywhere. But it'll be good when that's done. What have we got coming up? So we've got Titanic coming up. I know there's yet more Infinity Gauntlet. So I've done 5 Infinity Gauntlet. We've got another 5 Infinity Gauntlet to go, where we're doing a lot of the internals. So the glove doesn't necessarily fit together how everyone thought it did. There's a bar piece in there that's going to connect together. So we've got more Infinity Gauntlet coming. We did get a message from Fanhome regarding our R2-D2. Now, a few people asked me what's happened to our R2-D2. I can't go into detail because I'm just not. But me and Jack were building R2-D2 together, and we still are building R2-D2 together. But we had to stop for a while for Jack because he had. I'm not going into massive detail. He had a lot going on. A lot was kind of overwhelming, so we sat back, and I'm not just going to bulldoze through and do it for him. When he's got the time and we can do it together, we'll do it together. So that's exactly what happened there. But I'm not going to go into great detail about it. But thankfully, as a result of that, we got a message from Fanhome telling us that there's a chance that our motherboard would have been speaking in a different language, and they're sending us out a replacement. So if you have had that problem, if your R2-D2 is speaking a different language, I think German or Spanish, well, they are sending out a different board, so yours will speak English. I'm glad that we haven't fitted that, so it means that we haven't got to take the whole thing apart to put a new one in. But we've got we've got all of R2-D2, we've got him to do, and we are planning on half term, which is a week from now, that we're just going to put them all together. We're going to sit down and do them, and have some chill time, because he was severely lacking that. So we had to make a decision on what had to take a back step and what didn't, and that's what we did. Because again, I mean, it's like with me, I feel this bizarre pressure to build these models. So when I've fallen behind when I was ill and busy at work, I was thinking, God, I've got to get those models built. I've got to get them. And I don't. That's the reality. I don't have to get these models built. Because as much as I do like filming and bring the chance to you, bring the videos to you, I still need to go at my own pace. I just do. So I wouldn't enjoy it if I was like, right, force yourself to sit down and go, there's no fun in that. This is still, ultimately, I do this for fun. YouTube is great that I can share this with you and we can have our conversations and whatnot, and it's fantastic for that. But it's not my job. It's not my career. So it needs to, I need to take the pressure off myself, I think is what's there, where I'm like, God, I have to get these videos done. I don't have to get these videos done, I will get them done. But if you start forcing yourself to do something, you start resenting it, and you're not going to get your best work out yourself if you're all kind of like antsy and you're just not, you're going to you're going to rush things, or you're going to, so it's the way it is. So I can it makes sense that what we did with Jack, just sort of give him a breather. Because he is the world's busiest kid. He genuinely is, bless him. New model-wise, nothing. This is the first week in ages that there hasn't been a significant, oh my God, here's another one. Which is, it's nice to have a breather, right? It's just because it was at one point, everyone was just bringing out the big guns. I know it hasn't stopped. I know there's more coming, but at least at this point, we've got a bit of respite. We've got a bit of a breather. There's been some movement on 007 over at Agora. I believe it's the end of October, mid-November. They're going to start shipping 007. So that'll be good. If you sub to that, you're gonna be able to start your 007 build before the year is out. We've not subbed to it yet. Again, it's one I'd like to do, but I would prefer to do the Lotus personally. For me, it's Roger Moore was my Bond, and the Lotus has got a soft spot in my heart, and I prefer to do that one. So again, when I have to be sensible with budget and space and time, the DB5 is one that is taking a back step for me at this point. I would still like to build it, and hopefully it's something that Agora has for a while, and we would have the advantage of being able to go back and maybe get a full pack, or a half pack or an accelerator or something later on and do it. But in the immediate, it means that I can't do it straight away. I can't do it on its first kind of debut run. But I would like to. I mean, I think it's beautiful. I mean, I saw some fairly unfair criticism of it, but let's wait and see, shall we? When we've actually got the model, then we'll make our critiques. You've seen some pictures of it at this point. Chill out. I'm sure it looked really nice. Agora don't really miss a step, do they? Let's be honest. I mean, none of us really talk smack about any of Agora's models. They're all very nice. So I've no doubt in my mind that they'll nail this one as well. I just don't, and I've got no skin in the game. Agora ain't sponsoring me to do anything. I'm currently not building an Agora model. But I don't have any concern at all when it comes to Agora models. I think they'll nail it. I just do. But we'll see. We'll see. So yeah, there is no new model news as such, which is, again, kind of nice, if I'm honest, at the moment, because it's been so mad with everything kind of moving. But I've got no further news about any of that. So U-boats have started to ship already, which is quite surprising. So people have already started getting their U-boats. Robocop is run along quite nicely with people doing Robocop. I've heard nothing about the Lancaster Bomber. Now, I know Lancaster Bomber is due to launch in December of this year, and I want to say it is on December the 28th, I believe, is launch date for the Bomber. But I would imagine that soon we're going to start seeing some and hearing a few more rumblings about it. Now, by all accounts, they've made changes from what we saw with that original prototype. What those changes are, I don't know. So it depends, really, doesn't it? As it stands right now, I'm all in. I want to do the Lancaster Bomber. But if they have made changes to it that have changed it dramatically in a way I don't like, then I won't build it. I'll pick something else. I'll probably do ET instead. If I don't do the Lancaster Bomber, I'd probably pick ET or Optimus Prime. I don't know. It's hard, isn't it? It's hard at this point. But it depends what they've done to it, because I loved what I saw. So when they showed the prototype, I loved it. Watching the little machine guns go, seeing the engine start up in sequence like the actual Lancaster. I loved the diorama. The size of it was just vast, but I really like that. I'm hoping they haven't done anything to spoil that. I'm hoping. But we'll have to wait and see, won't we? I have had some interesting comments and messages regarding the Tumblr. That a few people that are just ducking out of it, they've decided it's not for them. Don't do that, man. I mean, it's like, right, I get that you're pissed off. And I pay for this again. So this is no one's sending me this for free. I pay for this. I pay for my Tumblr, and I get paying that much money, waiting that long, and having a box turn up, and literally all you do is plug some wires together. Is annoying. I completely get that. Of course I do. I'm not one of them. I'm one of you. So yeah, I'm not happy about that. Would I have wanted to build? Of course I would. But we're gonna do it. I mean, this is the thing. This ultimately, it's gonna happen. It's not like they've got all these big pieces and they've just decided we can't have them. We've got to trust the method. That's where it is, because regardless of what comes when, we know there are 120 parts, and at the end of it, we're left with a great big tumbler. So it doesn't matter what we get and when we get it. I know it's annoying, but ultimately, at the end of this, we're going to be left with a bloody great big, impressive, sexy tumbler. That's what's going to happen. So you just got to keep the faith. That's what's going to happen. You got to keep the faith. Speaking of Batman, now, Tumblr didn't launch in France, which is weird, because France are normally way ahead of us when it comes to part with models, even though that gap is now closing. They didn't get the Tumblr, but they did get the Batman figure. Now, the Batman figure's been running for about a year in France, so I would imagine you might see the Batman figure launch in December or January of either December of this year or January of next year. I would imagine there's a very strong chance Hachette are also going to launch the Batman. And if it isn't, they might go the way of I can't confirm this, but they might go the way of the Alien, where it was those big packs, where it was packs of 10 to build that Batman. I don't know. It depends how successful that Batman's been, I guess, and how they want to do it. But I don't know. I don't know what's happening with Lancaster Bombers in that respect. I don't know if I would imagine Lancaster Bomber will still be a newsagent one. It would make sense because the demographic that's going to appeal to still put it through the newsagents, but I can't confirm that for a fact. But I kind of hope they do. I don't believe the U-boat is available in newsagents. I'm pretty sure it isn't. I'm pretty sure the U-boat's subscription only. Because I've not seen it. If it launched in newsagents, I haven't seen it anywhere. I don't think it is a newsagent one. But Lancaster Bomber, I hope, is through the newsagents. But that is becoming a dying thing. We're just seeing less and less and less being released through newsagents. The collections will always be there. So things like the D&D collection and any of the little collectables or the cross-stitch or things like that will always go through the newsagents. But the models, I just think we're seeing less and less and less of that in newsagents. It's just not becoming a thing. Subscription models very much becoming the thing. Fan Home, I don't think have launched one since they did the Charger. I think the Charger was the last one they did through a newsagent, and I think they're kind of out. I don't think they do the newsagent model at all anymore. I think that was it. Newsagent's a funny thing because let's face it, printed media is dying on its ass, isn't it? I mean, books will always have a place, but when it comes to magazines, not so much, unless it's particularly specialist. I mean, I was a big buyer of Empire and Total Film, the film magazines. I just don't buy them anymore because it's basically last month's movie news today. That's what it is, because we have the internet now and the ease of it, that you're essentially reading everything you could need to know about the movie that you're interested in on your phone for free immediately. Why are you waiting a month to, so it's just, yeah, I mean, it's dying out in general. I mean, comics are no longer like they used to be. Comics just used to be comics. You bought a comic, that was it. Now, when my kids buy comics, what they're essentially doing is buying £2 worth of very bad plastic toys for a £5, because that's how much a comic is. So I'm not surprised it's gone this way. The world evolves as it moves on, and newsagents just, I mean, I barely see newspapers for sale anymore anywhere. Because again, it's yesterday's news today. We don't wait for that anymore. So who knows? I don't know. What I've been watching, we watched Goosebumps. So we watched the new Goosebumps, which is on Disney Plus, and it ain't bad. I've got to be honest with you, it's not bad. So they released 5. There's 10 episodes in total. There's one episode going to release every Friday up until November the 18th or something. But they released a block of 5 to start you off. And it's not like, if you saw the Goosebumps movies that were very kid and family orientated, this one isn't. This one is aimed at more kind of tweeners. It's more of a teen thing, this one. So it's a lot darker. Some of the subject matter in it's a little bit more adult, and it's a lot scarier than Goosebumps was. But we've really enjoyed it. It's got a very clever story structure to it, the way they're telling it. So you'll see in the same night from different people's perspectives, and it's been very clever how they've done it. And we've enjoyed it so far. So we are looking forward to the next 5. So that's one I would recommend. We watched on Netflix. We watched Bull. Wow. So if you like your London, well, not London, if you like your British gangster flicks, Bull, you probably won't like. I'll be honest with you. It's all right. It's just got a very weird ending. It's got an ending that's going to make you talk. So if you are looking for something to burn an hour and a half that's going to leave you going, huh, at the end, Bull, give it a go. It's on Netflix. The ending just kind of comes out of nowhere. I don't know if watch it and you'll see what I'm saying. It's different. It's unusual, to say the least. We have, as I said, a load more coming up on the channel. So I have got 4 more Disney Doll's House that will be up this weekend. By this weekend, they might be tomorrow. They will be up. We have 5 Gauntlet that'll be up this week. 5 more Gauntlet will be up next week. Titanic, if it comes this weekend, so I'm expecting that. I think I'm expecting it Friday, if not be next Friday. But when Titanic comes, we'll do Titanic, because it's not going to take a lot to get through that one. As I said, it's 4 whole parts. And even though it's a big impact on the ship, the actual work involved is minimal. We will finish sadly finish and happily finish Ecto1 this week, and then we'll have the conversation about the cases as well. I have got 2 models that have been sent to me from funwhole, so I will be doing those as well. And I can tell you what they are. They are the steampunk hot rod. So if you remember seeing me show pictures of the little car, the steampunk hot rod, I will be doing that one. It looks like this. Cute little one, and that's the easiest one to start with. If you wanted to try this company, that's the cheapest model you can get. It's about 20 quid, and it looks like it's going to be a gorgeous one. And then we have got the biggest, the other end. So we've gone from the smallest one they do to the biggest one they've ever done, a humongous model in the Steampunk Trading Centre, which will go lovely with our train station, our ore train. I can't wait to do this one. It looks so nice, but this is it. So that's coming very soon because I've got it. It's here. It's massive. I'm looking forward to that. They're a dream to build. Honestly, I love building those because I just zone out and I start and I go through it, and it's a dream. They're really nice to build. And then I've got another one coming that they've sworn me to secrecy over. But you'll be able to see that soon. I'm hoping it arrives before it will. I'm hoping it arrives before Halloween. I'm sure it will. I'm hoping I can show it you before Halloween because they're very specific with when I can publish these videos. But it would fit in nicely with Halloween, so I'm hoping we can show it you before Halloween. It is a version of something I've built before. It's just a very different method. So it's a different kind of product. Compared to what I built the first time, if that makes sense. So like I built a wooden Titanic, I'm currently building a metal Titanic, same kind of idea. I built some before, there's videos on the channel of it, and I'm building it again, but just a different medium, a different style. And that's what it will be. But I hope we can have that for Halloween. I really do. I think I'm going to talk to them and see if we can, and we'll see. They might say no, but we'll see. That is about all from me. There will be, as I said, there will be spooky tales from Bill and the Boys. It's not for everybody. You don't have to watch them. Don't feel obliged to watch anything that I do. But if you want some spooky Halloween tales, and it's a very different spin on it as well. So this isn't just me sat here telling ghost stories. If you watch the ones we did last year, none of them were ghost stories. All the ones we did last year were kind of the origins of things. So they were all true stories, and they were all things that happened and where they came from, with the exception of we tell the story of where the jack-o'-lantern came from, where it got its name, what the origin of that was, and that is a yarn that goes with it, but that's why it's called the jack-o'-lantern. Beyond that, we did one about the Gorbals vampire. Now, if you've never heard the truly insane tale of the Gorbals vampire, watch the video. You can go into, I've got a playlist in the Halloween horrors you can watch last year's. We did the Gorbals vampire, we did the ghost ship, the Oran Medan, which is a fascinating story. We did the Gremlins. We did the Curse the Chained Oak. We did the story of Bella in the Witch Elm, and we also did Jack-o'-lantern, and we all did Spring Heeled Jack as well. So if you'd like some spooky Halloween, they're already there. You can go see those, but we got some more coming. So I can tell you, one of them is about the legend of Bloody Mary. So if you're familiar with that, the first one we've got coming up is about the legend of Bloody Mary. But we go into what is the legend, why does it exist, why do people still believe it, and what is actually happening. And it is fascinating. It genuinely is fascinating. But as I mentioned in the last one, I will tell you how to do something. I would advise you don't do it, but I will tell you how to do it, and it makes sense when you see it. The other thing I'll tell you about is a friend of mine came to visit. So I had my first visitor to the build room, believe it or not, on the weekend. A friend of mine, Dan, a great guy, very, very talented when it comes to modelling and customising models as well, particularly. And we have a Facebook group. So there is a Facebook group that you can join where you can see custom figures and miniatures and everything you can imagine, everything modelling. It's a fun channel, but what we like is to see your work. So if you would like to share your work somewhere with like-minded people that will tell you exactly what they think of your work, they will also, if you want tips on how can I do this better, does anybody know how to do this, it's a great place to be. It's a fantastic group. I'm going to put a link to it down below. I would strongly advise, if you're into all of this stuff, swing on by, join the group, say hello, have a chat, show us your work and look at everybody else's, because there's some amazing work over there. It really is good. It's not just, it's called custom scale figures, but it's not just custom scale figures. It's a bit of everything. And it's a good resource for, how do I do this? Someone about to tell you, you know? So if you're looking to make figures for your Ecto1, somebody will probably advise you. We discuss everything from 3D printing to any kind of model you think. And Dan is a wealth of knowledge. And his zombie work, you got to see his zombie work is really good. He customizes figures into zombies. They look incredible. They really do. So swing on by. I've put the link in the description down below. Click on that. Head over to Facebook, join, hang out with us, talk models. It's what life is, you know. It's just talking models. That is all from me. In a world where you can be anything at all, just be nice. And I will see you very, very soon. Let's put the Dealy Boppers back on for more from the boys and more spooky tales in Halloween week. Take care, and I will see you then. Please remember to both like and subscribe.